غيبت عني وخير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلما أرى مولا كريما أصبر على عبد اللئيم منك عليه. يا ربي إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك، وتتحبب إلي فتبغض إليك، وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك، كأن لي التطول عليك. فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك، فارحم عبدك الجاهل وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على علمه بعد علمي، والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرتي، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبي وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الأسباب ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادل ولا شبيه يشاقل ولا ظهير يعاضد، قهر بعزته العزة وتواضع لعظمته العظمى فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أنادي ويستر علي كل عورة وأنا عصي، ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازي، فكم من موهبة هنية قد أعطاني، وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفاني، وبهجة مونقة قد أراني، فأثني عليه حامدا واذكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه ولا يغلق بابه ولا يرد سائل ولا يخيب عامل. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين وينجي الصالحين ويرفع المستضعفين ويذع المستكبرين ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاسم الجبارين مبير الظالمين مدرك الحارمين نكال الظالمين صريخ المستصرخين موذي حاجات الطالبين معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها وترجف الأرض وأمارها وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق ويرزق ولا يرزق ويطعم ولا يطعم ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك، أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى، وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وهجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. وصل على سبتي الرحمة وإمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي. والخلف العائد المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المعمل والعدل المنتظر وهفه بملائكتك المقربين وعيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله. مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له عبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه وأعزز بي وانصره وانتصر بي وانصره نصرا عزيزا وافتح له فتحا يسيرا واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. اللهم أظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا وما قصرنا عنه فبلغنا. اللهم المم به شعثنا واشعب به صدعنا وارتق به فتكنا وكثر به كلتنا وعزز به ذلتنا واغني به عائلنا واقض به عن مكرمنا واجبر به فقرنا وسد به قلتنا ويسر به عسرنا وبيض به وجوهنا وفق به أسرنا وأنجه به طلبتنا وانجز به مواعيدنا واستجب به دعوتنا واعتنا به سؤلنا وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا واعتنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين. اشف به صدورنا واذهب به غيظ قلوبنا واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وعلي وغيبة ولينا وكثرة عدونا وكلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتظاهر الزمان علينا فصل على محمد وعلي وعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجل وبذر تكشف ونصر تعز وسلطان حق تظهر ورحمة منك تجللناها وعافية منك تلبسناها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم برحمتك في الصالحين فادخلنا وفي عليين فارفعنا وبكأس من معين من عين سلسبيل فاسقنا ومن الهور العين برحمتك فزوجنا ومن الولدان المخلدين كأنهم لؤلؤ مكنون فاخدمنا ومن ثمار الجنة ولحوم الطير فاطعمنا ومن ثياب السندس والحرير والاستبرق فالبسنا وليلة القدر وحج بيتك الحرام وقتلا في سبيلك فوفق لنا وصالح الدعاء والمسألة فاستجب لنا وإذا جمعت الأولين والآخرين يوم القيامة فارحمنا وبراءة من النار فاكتب لنا وفي جهنم فلا تغلنا وفي عذابك وهوانك فلا تبتلنا ومن الزقوم والذري فلا تطعمنا ومع الشياطين فلا تجعلنا وفي النار على وجوهنا فلا تكببنا ومن ثياب النار وسرابيل الكتران فلا تلبسنا ومن كل سوء يا لا إله إلا أنت بحق لا إله إلا أنت فنجنا. اللهم إني أسألك أن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر من الأمر المحتوم في أمر الحكيم من القضاء الذي لا يرد ولا يبدل أن تكتبني من حجاج بيتك الحرام المبرور حجهم المشكور سعيهم المغفور ذنوبهم المكفر عن سيئاتهم وأن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر أن تطيل عمري في خير وعافية وتوسع في رزقي وتجعلني ممن تنتصر به لدينك ولا تستبدل بي غيرك. أعوذ بجلال وجهك الكريم أن ينكذي عني شهر رمضان أو يطلع الفجر من ليلتي هذه ولك قبلي بطبيعة أو ذنب تعذبني عليه. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. We'll go for the du'as for each day. We'll recite the second and third day. For some of you, the second of Ramadan. For some of you, it's the third. Right, so if you read the second day with me, please. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم قربني فيه إلى مرضاتك وجنبني فيه من سخطك ونقماتك ووفقني فيه لقراءة آياتك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. This is the third day. اللهم ارزقني فيه الذهن والتنبيه وباعدني فيه من الشفاعة والتمويه واجعل لي نصيبا من كل خير تنزل فيه بجودك يا أجود الأجودين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Right, can we start with the salawat, please? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajah. I really don't bite, so if you come a bit further down, be quite cool. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I know you're fasting. I'll start again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, you should each have a book like this, because you're going to annotate it throughout the month, okay? I know some of you have the books from last year. Bring them back if you want to recycle them, but make sure you take one. You should also have a bookmark that looks something like that. We started a Small Husna last year, and we will continue. But the focus for this year is Surah Al-Duha and Surah Al-Inshirah. So hopefully you will bring pencil colors in. And I'm hoping that your book will look like something like mine when we're finished. Okay? So we're going to start with the Sermon of the Prophet, which you will find on page 3. Would you like to go to page 3, please, of your books? If you don't have a book, put your hand up and she'll give you a book. I know they've told you they're £10 each. It's entirely up to you. You know, do what you have to do. I get told off if I don't tell you that. Okay. So I'd like you to go through the sermon with me. It's on the screen, and we'll take it from there. So this is the sermon the Prophet gave on the last day of Shaban. I have annotated mine. I hope you will do that too. So ayyuhan nas, O people, innahu qad aqbala ilaykum shahrullah bil baraka wal rahma wal maghfirah. So he's telling you that the month that is coming in front of you has 3 things. I'll repeat them again. Baraka, rahma, and maghfirah. Barakah has 2 meanings. The first meaning is you get more than what you deserve and more than what you expect. That's number 1. Rahma is, if I can say, incredible compassion. And maghfirah, you all know, which is forgiveness. Are you comfortable with that? So there's 3 things in this month that you and I need to access. Okay. Shahrun huwa indallah afdalul shuhur. With Allah, this month is the best of months. وَأَيَّامُهُ afdalul ayyam. The days are the best of days. وَلَيَالِهِ afdalul layali. The nights are the best of nights. وَسَاعَاتُهُ afdalul sa'at. And the hours are the best of hours. I'm not sure about you, but the generation, my generation, and the generation before me, you're the younger generation, used to think Ramadan was all about food. I'm sure you don't do that. But that's what the generation did. And here, if it's the best of month, you don't want to spend it in the kitchen. Okay? We'll talk about that as we go on. هُوَ شَهْرٌ دُعِيتُمْ فِيهِ إِلَى ضِيَافَةِ اللَّهِ. It is a month which calls you to be His guests. وَجُعِلْتُمْ فِيهِ مِنْ أَهْلِ كَرَامَةِ اللَّهِ. And to be one of those who has... Now, karama is generosity. When you go to anybody's house, or people come to your house, forget about going anywhere else. When they come to your house, you're probably on your best behavior. You probably get the best dishes out. You're probably a bit more, with it than you are with the family. You might put your pot down in the middle for your family, but when guest comes, you served it out really well. And that's what He's doing. He's giving you the best of what you and I have. So, got to be with it. أنفاسكم فيه تسبيح. Every breath you take is a tasbih. That doesn't mean that I just breathe. It means that every breath I have the remembrance of Allah. Whether it's Alhamdulillah, Astaghfirullah, MashaAllah, Inshallah, all those words, right? وَنَوْمُكُمْ فِيهِ إِبَادَةً. And your sleep is ibadah. Now that was misinterpreted because people thought the more we sleep, the better it is. It actually said that even if you required that little time for sleeping, that sleep would be taken on just as you would if you were awake. وَعَمْلَكُمْ فِيهِ مَقْبُولٌ. Anything you do is accepted. It's not rocket science. Do as much as you can for as many as you can. وَدُعَاءُكُمْ فِيهِ مُسْتَجَابٌ. I mean, make a list as long as you want. Your A4 or A5, your whatever, the whole lot. Just make a list. When Prophet Musa was told by Allah, Ya Musa, why don't you ask me for the salt in your dough and the shoelaces in your shoes? And he said, Ya Allah, I don't want to disturb you with such little things. He said, no, Musa. Musa, ask me for all the all the macros. I will sort out the in-betweens. Your job and my job is not to find out how. I said, just make a list. And the more impossible, the better. Did not Zachariah ask for a child when he was 90? Yes or no? Was his wife not barren? She'd never had children. She was in her 80s. So if they asked, what is stopping you and me? I'm not asking for babies at 90, but okay, there's a limit, but you can do that too. Okay, it's up to you. At 66, I have an issue. All right. فَصَلُ اللَّهَ رَبَّكُمْ. So ask your Rabb, بِنِيَّاتٍ صَادِقَةٍ, with a totally clear intention, وَقُلُوبٍ طَاهِرَةٍ. This is the problem. Pure hearts. You actually got to look at your heart. I think I put it on one of the updates, but I'm going to go over it again if you're not part of this update group. See, you and I in the last 11 months, and I'll talk about me myself, have created a mess. Like a real mess. Do you know why in the English language they say spring cleaning? Because in winter, people didn't like to clean. If you looked outside and you just didn't want to clean anything. So once spring came, and the sun has come out now, it just makes life so much easier. Somebody was telling me here that they could actually see things when the sun was out. You could actually see things. And that's what spring was about. So Ramadan is known as the spring of hearts. Now you and I may have created messes in the 11 months. We've got to spring clean it. Allah is not the cleaner for me. Neither is He my PA. I can't say, can you go and clean up? I first got to acknowledge the mess. Then I got to ask Him, how do I put this right? The jealousy, the resentment, the what, the which, the when, all the rest of it. How do I put it right? He will show me a way. But that's what this is about. وَقُلُوبٍ طَاهِرَةٍ. It's got to be a pure heart. It doesn't work otherwise. Okay? All right. Now, this is what you're asking for. أَن يُوَفِّقَكُمْ لِصِيَامِهِ. That you're able to fast. And you say, well, that's easy. They're so short. I have my sehri at 5, I don't know, 4:45. And I break my fast at 6. Is it 6 today? 5:58, 6 o'clock. And when I come to early classes, they're going to give me pizza and chips. I think that's what the menu is, or chicken and chips or whatever. So they're going to give me that. I mean, so easy. It's not easy. It really is difficult. It's not just jurisprudential fasting, which is the fasting that you may have to keep away from food and drink and other stuffs. It's a lot more than that. So he's saying, pray that you're able to fast, وَتِلَاوَةِ كِتَابِهِ, and you're able to read Quran. Now, I know the people who organize the adult Quran actually plead to moms to go and read. Today, while I was sitting here, there weren't many people there. There were lots of people here. It's all right if you have kids. Just read Quran. One ayah. You'll see it'll come up. We're going to it. فَإِنَّ الشَّقِيَ مَنْ هُرِمَ غُفْرَانُ اللَّهِ فِي هَذَا الشَّهْرِ الْأَذِيمِ. The one who is the most unfortunate in this month is the one who has not been able to be forgiven. So it's not rocket science. As much as you can, astaghfirullah. Sitting, standing, sleeping, you don't know what to do, astaghfirullah. That's it. وَاذْكُرُوا بِجُوئِكُمْ وَعْطَشِكُمْ فِيهِ جُوعَ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَعْطَشِهِ. When you're hungry and you're thirsty, think of the hunger and thirst on the day of Qiyamah. Basically, on the day of Qiyamah, I'll be answerable for what I did not do to help others. I'll go back to my table. I've been fasting since, God knows, last week, last month, whatever. When I sit on the dinner table, I actually sometimes wonder, isn't this too much? And I've been taught by my parents to have less is more in Ramadan. So we don't have the fried stuffs and stuffs. It's the simple stuff. But even then, I think it's too much. And then I look at images of Gaza. And I think maybe I could have cut down half and I could send that money across. I'm not sure about you, but there is a lot of wastage in the month of Ramadan because you think you can eat more than what is on the table. And even if you can't, it's a good time to think. On the day of Qiyamah, I don't want to sit and say, hello, I wasn't aware of this. وَتَصَدَّقُوا عَلَى فُقَرَائِكُمْ وَمَسَاكِينِكُمْ. Sorry, it's supposed to say فُقَرَائِكُمْ. Faqir and miskin. Are these two words that you listen to? Faqir is one who can ask. A miskin is in such a difficult place that because of economic reasons or illness or whatever, they can't earn their money. They don't know what to do, so they're stuck. So he's saying, give sadaqah, give charity. وَوَكِّرُوا كِبَارِكُمْ. Make sure you honor your old. وَارْحَمُوا صِغَارَكُمْ. And little ones, have rahmah on them. Now, we started 4 o'clock for that reason, that you have little ones that run around. I can see some faces that were here 33 years ago when we started, and they were eating pizzas upstairs. One between their toes, one in their hands, and one in their mouth, okay? I can actually see you. I'm not going to look at you, okay? So your children are here now. So the idea was to let children run around. And it's really sad when we get upset with them. Why? Here it says, وَرَحَمُوا صِغَارِكُمْ in this month. Have rahmah, have kindness. وَصِلُوا أَرْحَامَكُمْ. When was the last time you called your chachi, masi, kaki, I don't know. And if you don't understand Gujarati, the maternal aunts and the paternal aunts and the great-grandmothers and the cousin aunts, this is the time to do that. Send them a text. Send them a WhatsApp. Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Kareem, whatever you want. Wahfadhu al-sinatakum. Mind your tongues in this month. It's really hard, especially when you've got children. You can't shout. And no excuse about fasting, okay? Now, I have 5 children. I think one of them was here a little while ago. So I have 5 children. And I remember Ramadan, when they were home. They're not home anymore. But when they were home, to be able to say, please, if you don't mind, can you tidy your room? Have you tried to say that to a child? They look at you and they say, really? Please, is it okay if you brush your teeth? You can't say, go brush your teeth. Because it says, وَحَفِظُوا أَلْسِنَتَكُمْ. It's really important. Okay. وَغُضُّوا عَمَّا لَا يَحِلُّ النَّظَرُ إِلَيْهِ أَبْصَارُكُمْ. Don't look at what you're not supposed to look at. Somebody else's phone, it's so tempting. Somebody's pictures. Isn't it tempting? I don't know where my phone is, but when you leave your phone around, you sort of think, I wish I knew the password. No? People tell me that your life is in this thing. Is that right? And you also password it with your husbands. Do you do that? Okay, don't tell me. I don't need to know. But if you do, then, hey, we've got problems. So don't look at others. Forget about yours. Don't look at others. وَعَمَّا لَا يَحِلُّ الْإِسْتِمَاعُ إِلَيْهِ أَسْمَاكُمْ. Don't hear what you're not supposed to hear. Now, what you're not supposed to hear is gossip. You're not supposed to hear something that's wrong. We had a little girl last year, a couple of years back, and when she went to the shops, she closed her ears because there was music. Right, she was taking it a bit further, okay? Hey. وَتَحَنَّنُوا عَلَىٰ أَيْتَامِ النَّاسِ. You know what Hanana means? Let me explain. So there is a pillar in Masjid al-Nabi called Sutun Hanana, right? Sutun Hanana was the place where the Prophet stood to recite his talk. So when he gave his talks, he stood against that pillar. And then this guy in the audience was a carpenter, and he felt so bad for the Prophet. So he put a couple of boxes for the Prophet to sit down. And as the congregation grew, the boxes became a mimbar. But when the Prophet first moved from that pillar, it was a trunk. It was an actual palm tree. And he moved from that and he went to there. The palm tree started crying. And the crying is called Hanana, which is a separation of a baby camel from its mama. So you know how babies cry when they're separated from their mama. That's called Hanana, right? And the Prophet got up, he went to that palm tree and he said, "You're going to be with me in Jannah, don't cry." He said, "But you left me." That's a tree trunk. Here he says, وَتَحَنَّنُوا عَلَىٰ أَيْتَامِ النَّاسِ. Think of them as your own children, as your own orphans. You don't have to go far. Just open your phone, social media. Maybe the television doesn't show it, but you can see so much. He's saying, وَتَحَنَّنُوا عَلَىٰ أَيْتَامِ النَّاسِ. يَتَحَنَّنُوا عَلَىٰ أَيْتَامِكُمْ. You do that, you will find incredible compassion on your orphans. Okay? وَتُوبُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ مِن ذُنُوبِكُمْ. Do a U-turn on everything that you've done wrong. Again, Ramadan, a time to write down, because Laylatul Qadr is coming, ain't got many days. So at the back of your books, you've got some pages, I hope. I've got some written down there. You can put post-it notes. Write down in code word, by the way, because you've got prying eyes, right? Or put it on on notes in here. Put it down as to all the things that you have to do a U-turn to. You're the one who knows. Nobody else knows. You're the only one who knows yourself. You know the mess you've created. So write it down. وَتُوبُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ مِن ذُنُوبِكُمْ وَارْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِ أَيْدِيَكُمْ بِالدُّعَاءِ. Raise your hands. Now, I'm a Koji. Very proud to be one. But when I do dua, I go like this. Raise it up there, no? وَارْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِ أَيْدِيَكُمْ بِالدُّعَاءِ. Raise your hands in dua. فِي أَوْقَاتِ صَلَوَاتِكُمْ. At the time of salah, فَإِنَّهَا أَفْضَلُ السَّاعَاتِ. That's the best of times. Now, it was never just 3 times. It was 5 times. Fajr. Come on. Zohar. Asr. I'm just trying to wake you up. Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. Now, if I asked you about what time is Maghrib in Ramadan, people know it to the second. 5:58 and 5 seconds. I don't know what it is today. Is it 6 o'clock? Let's have a look. I don't know. I don't know what Maghrib time is. Let's have a look. So today it says Maghrib is exactly 6 o'clock. And believe me, if there were seconds in here, we would have put down seconds. But if I asked you, what is Asr time, what would you tell me? You might know Zohar, but what is Asr? Okay. I've got 1:44 here. Okay. Yep. And if I asked you what was Isha, what would you say? What happened? It's okay, I'm not trying to name and shame. No. I'm just trying to say it's good to know all 5 times. It's about 6:46, about 6:45, right? So to pray 5 prayers does not make you a non-Shia. This is our problem. There's something in the head that says, if I pray 5 prayers a day, I will stop becoming a Shia. Really? Are you serious? The convenience was there to put Zohar and Asr together, to put Maghrib and Isha together. Ramadan is the best time to pray Maghrib, have your iftar, and then pray Isha in peace with a full stomach. It just works. So here, can you imagine? We've restricted the times to raise our hands only 3 times, when you could actually raise them for 5 times. It's phenomenal. Okay. يَنْظُرُ اللَّهُ فِيهَا بِالرَّحْمَةِ. At that time, Allah looks at you with rahmah ila ibadihi, at those who are connected to Him. وَيُجِيبُهُمْ إِذَا نَاجُوا. He actually answers your munajat. Munajat is not the stuff that you sing on the microphone. Munajat is a secret conversation. Najwa is a secret. So when you say I don't know, if you read Salatul Layl, hopefully Salatul Tahajjud or Namaz Shab, just before Fajr, or maybe you read it just before you go to sleep, there's a dua called Dua Hazin, right? It starts off with, Unajika ya mawjudu fi kulli makan. I want to have a secret conversation with you who is present everywhere. So here he says, at the time of Salah, just have that secret conversation with him. Sit down and talk. It does not have to be a dua, as in a dua that is written in a book. That was there because it helped us verbalize what we were thinking. The du'as that are taught by the Masumin are there to help you and me verbalize stuff. It's very hard for us to say, it's so difficult for me to be separated from you. Even if you put me in the fire, that's Dua al-Qamil, I will cry out to you and say, I want to be with you. So the Masumin helped us verbalize. But doing Salah, as soon as you finish Salah, just sit down and talk to him. This is what's hurting me. This is what's breaking my heart. This is my problem. And in Ramadan, that's it. He'll sort it out. وَيُلَبِّيهِمْ إِذَا نَادَوْهُ, and he will answer if you call him. وَيُعْطِيهُمْ إِذَا سَأَلُوهُ, he will give what you ask for. وَيَسْتَجِيبَ لَهُمْ إِذَا دَعُوتُهُ, and he will obviously answer you when you call. أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ, so people, إِنَّ أَنفُسَكُمْ مَرْهُونَةٌ بِأَعْمَالِكُمْ, your souls are dependent on your deeds. فَفَكُّوهَا بِاسْتِغْفَارِكُمْ, free your souls with istighfar. Now istighfar does not only mean saying sorry to him, he will forgive. But if I've done something wrong to you, I have to say sorry to you. And then say you came and said sorry to me, I cannot say, what are you saying sorry for? Or I say, I'm sorry, I talked about you. You can't say, who did you talk to? What did you say? Because you're just repeating the whole thing. So while I'm here, and while I've got all of you here, can we just forgive each other? Unless we've got something we can't forgive each other to, so then go and have your own private conversation. You call them DMs, don't you? I don't know what you call them. Sort them out. Okay. وَظُهُورُكُمْ ثَقِيلَةٌ مِنْ أَوْزَارِكُمْ, your backs are weighed down. They're so weighed down. Okay. So فَخَفِّفُوا عَنْهَا بِطُولِ سُجُودِكُمْ, clear the weight on your backs with sujood. Long sujood. See, 17 rakats, right? Or shall I say 18, because you've got one of witr. Or shall I say 17 plus 11? 28. Okay, or shall I say 51 with the nawafil? No. Okay. Let's stick to 17 plus 1 of witr. 18 okay with you? Is that a yes, no, maybe, perhaps? Oh, thank God for that. Right. So in one of those, extend the sujood. Even if you feel like the blood is rushing to your head, I can't take it, it's so hard. I had somebody last year tell me, what are you talking about long sajdas? If I go into sajda, I get a headache. Well, little at a time, it's like going to the gym, right? It's like exercising the muscle of going into sajda. Ask in sajda, every single sajda, ask. Because you're at your lowest point, and you're saying, Subhana Rabbiyal A'ala wa bihamdi. A'ala is high. Hopefully, if we get time, we'll go into that. So, فَخَفِّفُوا عَنْهَا بِطُولِ سُجُودِكُمْ وَاعْلَمُوا, and know أَنَّ اللَّهَ أَقْسَمُ بِإِزَّتِهِ, that Allah has promised with His izzah, and hopefully we will look at that in Asma al-Husna, أَنْ لَا يُعَذِّبَ الْمُسَلِّينَ, He swears He will not punish the person who fasts, وَالسَّاجِدِينَ, and the person who does sajda. He swears. Can you imagine going in the grave? We're all going to go, by the way. Okay. So the angels come and say, this is what you did, and you say, sorry. First, in his sermon, he said, you will not punish somebody who prays, and you will not punish somebody who did sajda. And I'd like you to remember this ayah of Quran, 08:33. Can you please write that down? So you know my passcode, yeah? 08:33. Surah Al-A'raf, ayah 33. Have you got a Quran with you? If you don't have one, I'm expecting you to bring one tomorrow, okay? Let's have a look at it. It's one of my favorite ayahs of the Quran. He says, وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَأَنْتَ فِيهِمْ, Muhammad, we will never punish them if you're within them. So we have a Muhammad within us. أَوَّلُونَ مُحَمَّدُ وَآخِرُونَ مُحَمَّدُ وَأَوْسَطُونَ Muhammad. We have Imam al-Mahdi amongst us. So you can't be punished. But the next thing says, وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ مُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَهُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ, He will not punish the one who does istighfar. It's all about saying sorry. Astaghfirullah. So can you imagine those angels coming and you say, 0833. Can you remember that? And you can remember this sermon, right? So if you pray, if you do sajda, if you know Imam Mahdi, Ajjalallahu Faraja, and you remember him all the time, you recite salawat, and you know istighfar. 4 things. You cannot be punished. It's phenomenal. And you said sorry to everybody else. I mean, there's nothing else to worry about. It's not rocket science, okay? All right. So he says, وَأَلَّا يُرَوَّعْهُمْ بِالنَّارِ يَوْمَ يَكُمُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. And you get a certificate of freedom from the fire. No fire. So if anybody scares you about the fire, tell them about this. I'll tell you the story of Bahlul, which I tell them all, which I say every year. So Bahlul goes to the Khalifa of the time and he says, I had a dream last night. I was in Jahannam. I said, Bahlul, Jahannam. And he said, yeah, but there was no fire. And they said, but Bahlul, even in the Quran it says Jahannam has fire. I said, I thought so as well. And he said, I went to the keeper of Jahannam and I said, where's the fire? And they said, we don't have any fire here. People bring their own fires. Okay? So if something's not quite sitting well here, if something's up and down, sort it out. Because it starts off in the world. Okay, أيها الناس, oh people, من فطر منكم صائما مؤمنا في هذا الشهر. If you give iftar to a fasting person in this month, one iftar, كان له بذلك عند الله عتق نسمة ومغفرة لما مضى من ذنوبه. Can you imagine? One iftar to one person, it's like you have freed someone out of debt, out of slavery, out of whatever, and all your past sins are forgiven. I mean, it's crazy. Just one iftar. Just so you know, we're going to give iftar to your children every day, I hope, from Monday to Friday, in packed boxes. I think I can smell something. That's probably from downstairs, but that's probably your iftar that you've got there. All you have to do is give a donation to, I think it's the Niyaz Fund of Hujjat. You don't have to give it to us. Go put it straight there, and you've managed to do something. So look what happens. Fakila, the people of it was difficult for them. These are the people of Medina. They said, Ya Rasulullah, فَلَيْسَ كُلُّنَا نَقْدِرُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ. We can't do this. We can barely feed ourselves. And he said, اتَّقُوا النَّارِ. Be God conscious of the fire. وَلَوْ بِشَرْبَةٍ مِّن مَّاءٍ. You can't even give a sip of water. I can do that. You don't have to put hundreds of thousands. Whatever you've got, just put it in. I think there's a box there that says Niyaz Fund. I don't know. Send it across. There are QR codes on the website, whatever you want. But that's providing an iftar, and it frees you from all your sins. Okay. أيها الناس, O people. من حسن في هذا الشهر خلقه. If you have the best of akhlaq, if you behave well, كان له جوازا على الصراط. You'll get helicopter ride. Well, aeroplane ride, helicopter ride. يوم تزل فيه الأقدام. When everybody else's feet will slip, you get to go by helicopter, right? Okay. ومن خفف في هذا الشهر أما ملكت يمينه خفف الله عليه حسابه. If you take the weight, the load of somebody, if somebody's doing something and you help them through, then he will make your accounting easier. So if you saw somebody with boxes, if you saw somebody walking with things, just take them from them, no? It's not difficult. If you walk out and you see something on the floor and it's rubbish, pick it up and put it in the bin. I was talking to somebody the other day, I think it was the children at workshop. When you come into this center, and if you look at the carpet, you might see fluff. Did you see fluff while you went upstairs? Now, say, for example, that fluff was at home. What would you do? I promise you would get your vacuum cleaner and clean it, would you not? If not, you would pick it up. Yes, no, maybe, perhaps. One mark on the wall, and you'd bring your flash out. Sorry, I'm not trying to advertise flash. Whatever it is, you're going to bring it out and clean it. Well, what happens here? Somebody's got to do it. That's why I say, when you leave this place, at least clean this square meter around you. Okay, all right. وَمَنْ كَفَّ فِيهِ شَرَّهُ. If you don't hurt somebody, you don't make them feel bad with your evil, when I say evil, with your words or your looks or whatever, كَفَّ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ غَضَبَهُ يَوْمَ يَلْقَى. He will not get angry on you. So smile. Smile at people, even if it's tough, even if they're the most difficult person in the world, right? Okay. وَمَنْ أَكْرَمَ فِيهِ يَتِيمًا. If you give honor to an orphan is someone who's got nobody. And that's really necessary. You've got social media just as I do. I cry when I look at those things. Akramahullahu yawma yalqa. He will be generous to you on the day of Qiyamah. وَمَنْ وَصَلَ فِيهِ رَحِمَهُ. If you put together family members, وَصَلَهُ اللَّهُ بِرَحْمَتِهِ يَوْمَ يَلْقَى, Allah will put together mercy, forgiveness for you on the day of Qiyamah. So if your brothers are not talking to each other, if your aunt and your uncle are not talking to each other, get them to talk to each other. Put them together. This is the month to do it. وَمَنْ قَطَعَ رَحِمَهُ. If you cut relationships, قَطَعَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ رَحْمَتَهُ يَوْمَ يَلْقَى. No mercy, no forgiveness on the day of Qiyamah. وَمَنْ تَطَوَّعَ فِيهِ بِصَلَاةٍ. If you have one mustahab salah, كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَهُ بَرَاءَةً مِنَ النَّارِ. You get certificate from the fire of freedom. One mustahab salah. So I'm hoping today, after you finish Isha, you will recite 2 rakats sitting down. That is the nawafil of Isha, right? Nafil of Isha is 2 rakats sitting down. Doesn't take long. And after that, you will do 1 rakat of witr. And then you will feel good in yourself. Oh my goodness, freedom from the fire. But then tomorrow you'll think, let me do it again. And then it will just become a habit throughout your life. 2 rakats sitting down, it doesn't take 2 minutes. And 1 rakat of witr. We'll go over that tomorrow. Don't think I've got time today. وَمَنْ عَدَّ فِيهِ فَرَضًا. If you do a wajib salah, كَانَ لَهُ ثَوَابًا مِنْ عَدَّ سَبْعِينَ فَرِيدَةً فِيمَا سَوَاهُ مِنَ الشُّهُورِ. It's like 70 on another day. So I mean, take your time reciting your salah. وَمَنْ أَكْثَرَ فِيهِ مِنَ الصَّلَاةِ عَلَيْهِ. If you read a lot of salah in this month, ثَقَلَ اللَّهُ مِيزَانَهُ يَوْمَ تَخِفَّهُ الْمَوَازِينَ. Your good deeds will be so many on the day of Qiyamah. Okay. وَمَنْ تَلَى فِيهِ آيَةٌ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. I love this. 1 ayah of Qur'an. Now tilawa, if you read Yasin, the moon follows the sun. Yes? It's following. It's read, internalize, understand, apply, and teach. Do you want to say that with me? Read, internalize, understand, apply, and teach. And that's why I gave you and me 5 fingers. Okay? 1 ayah. Just 1. كَانَ لَهُ مِثْلَ عَجْرَ مَنْ كَتَمَ الْقُرْآنِ فِي غَيْرَ مِنْ شُهُورٍ. It's like finishing a whole Quran in other months. Can you just imagine, by saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim and showing rahmah and kindness to others, you finished a whole Quran. You really have. I was brought up in a small town called Moshi, tiny little town. And I still remember as a child, there was an uncle there. He was super smart, but I think the super smartness made him into someone who used to roam the streets sometimes. And everybody used to call him crazy, but he was a bit like Mahlul, not crazy at all. And he used to come at the end of the month of Ramadan, and he used to ask for the microphone. And on the microphone he used to say, I have read 1,001 Qur'ans. And people used to laugh at him, but there was nothing to laugh about, because he had internalized 1,001 ayat of the Quran. And it's wonderful to be able to say that. I have memorized so many. Okay. All right, here we go. Ayyuhan nas, people, inna abwab al-jinan fi hadha ash-shahr mufattaha. In this month, the doors of Jannah are open. Fas'alu rabbakum an la yuklikaha alaykum. Ask your Rabb not to close them for you. Wa abwab al-niran mughlaqah. The doors of Jahannam are closed. Fas'alu rabbakum an la yaftaha alaykum. Pray to your Rabb never to open them for you. Wa shayatini maghlula. So no blaming shaitan, because he is imprisoned. فَاسْأَلُوا رَبَّكُمْ أَلَّا يُسَلِّطَهَا عَلَيْكُمْ. Pray to your Rabb that he never frees him. Now, Imam Ali. فَقُمْتُ وَقُلْتُ. He stood up and he said, Ya Rasulullah, مَا أَفْضَلُ الْأَعْمَالِ فِي هَذَا الشَّهْرِ. What is the best of deeds in this month? فَقَالَ. The Prophet replied, Ya Abul Hasan, أفضل الأعمال, the best of deeds, في هذا الشهر, in this month, is al-wara'u an maharimillah, to keep away from that Allah has made haram. I haven't got time because I want to go over some of the stuff that we're going to do this time. So you've got a book like this, inshallah, and you will annotate it like that. Can you see my doors of Jannah and Jahannam? You will draw. You can all draw doors. You can all draw fires. We can all put bits and pieces in there, right? For this month, inshallah, We started, and you've got a bookmark like this. Last year we started with the 99 names. Do you remember? So inshallah this year we'll try and finish that. Our focus is also, and your children will be doing that, Surah Al-Duha and Surah Al-Inshirah. And I'm hoping you will know them. It's okay. It's okay. Surah Al-Duha and Surah Al-Inshirah. Your children, if they're 7, is it 7 up? Oh, if they're 8 and over, will get a diary like this. Hopefully you'll help them fill it in. If they're younger ones, they will get a diary like that. They may not be able to fill it themselves, but hopefully you will help them fill in every day. We will have a look at the diaries at the end of the month, and then we'll see what we can do with them. If you want to fill in a diary, you're very welcome. Okay. But I'm hoping that you will annotate that with me throughout the month until the end. Are you good with that? Okay. Surah Al-Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. صدق الله العظيم. Close your eyes. Ask Allah to give the thawabs to all the marhumin, especially those of your family. Pray for those who are ill and those who are in trouble. لي خمسة عطفي بها حر الوباء الحاتمة المصطفى والمرتضى وأبناهما والفاطمة. I have an announcement. If you have joined your child's class WhatsApp group, come to the office at the end. That means all of you. Oh, if you haven't, it says if you have. If you haven't joined, then go to the office at the end so you can join the WhatsApp group. Okay. Right, can we stand for ziyarah, please? اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي هلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذريتك علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن الحسن أجل الله فرجه وسهل الله مخرجه وظهورك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم كل وليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل الساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Okay, all donations or payments for the book can be made to Fatim. She's got a card machine.